Okay, so today we're looking at reducing balance loans. So normally when you take out a loan from the bank or any other, you're going to put payments. So the idea is to pay off the loan, and so that's the reducing balance. So the recurrence relation that we would use includes, for the reducing balance loan, would include, excuse me, the geometric for the compound interest, but also there's a linear bit for your payments that go in, because normally you would pay the same amount all the time. So that's a linear. So the recurrence relation that we would use for these loans is, so V0, your initial, it's what's called the principal, so how much you've borrowed, so how much you borrow. And then the value of that loan in the next month would be some number, some ratio, and I'll get to how we work that out in a minute, times the current value, and then minus your payment. Always minus for the reducing balance loan, because you're putting money in, so that's going to bring how much you owe down. Alright, this big R here, what is big R? Big R has to do with our interest rate. And so that interest rate would be little r over 100, and then it's 1 plus alright, the 1 being the value of it plus the interest. Alright, so you still owe this much, which is where the 1 comes into it, plus the interest you've got to pay, and then you take off. So little r is the interest rate in percentage, of course, per compounding period. Now you notice that I have not used the word per year or per annum, rather per compounding period, because the interest is not necessarily going to get charged once a year, it can get charged monthly. It's pretty common. So we need to have a look at that, and we'll get to that in a minute. Vn, of course, is the balance after n payments. So again, it's not per year necessarily, it's after the payments. So if you're paying every month, then that n would be after a certain number of months. And then, of course, D is the payment that you make. And often that's called repayments. It's the word that's often used. What are your repayments on the loan? Alright. So there are recurrence relations for reducing balance lines. These are what all the symbols all mean. All we need to do now is an example. So has everyone got that? And rub that off. Right to rub that off, Brian. Good on him. Okay, so example. Alright, so we've got this person, Alyssa, she's borrowing $1,000. Interest rate of 15%, PA per annum per year, and in this one it's compounding monthly. So she repays the loan. Making 4 monthly payments. Of $257.85. All right. So first of all, we need to construct the recurrence relations for this. Loan. Then we want to know how much she owes after each payment. We're going to use our calculator for that. And C, and then part C is how much is her last payment going to be in order for the loan to be paid out over 4 payments. Alright, so that last bit might seem a little bit strange, but once we've done part B, it will make more sense. Okay, so part A, construct recurrence relations. All right, V0, that's the easy bit. That's just 1,000. All right, Right, the next bit, the interest rate is 15% per annum. So little r is 15% per annum. But our payments are made how often? Monthly. So what we need to do is take that 15 and divide it by 12. And because I've prepared one earlier, that's 1.25% per month. So in our recurrence relation for our big R, remember our little r was per compounding period. And so seeing as our payment period, compounding period, so because it's compounding monthly, we need to have our little r in per month, how often that interest is being charged. So our big R is 1 plus little r on 100. And we've just figured out our little r there. And so that is 1 plus 1.25 on 100. And because I've prepared one earlier, it's 1.0125. So what that means then is, oh, and D, our payments. I nearly forgot our payments, and our payments 257.85. And so now we put all of those things in our relation. So n plus 1 is big R, the n minus D. So putting our numbers that we've got in, big R is 1.0125, the n minus, oops, got that wrong, 257, 527, 85. So in terms of our recurrence relations, these are the two things that we need. We need to know what we're starting off with, and then how, in this case, each month, the value each month relates to the month before. All right. So now we've got our recurrence relations, we're going to be able to do the other two. All right. And for that, part B in particular, I'm going to use a calculator. All right. Oops. I haven't cancelled those WebEx meetings. There you go. All right. So, where do we go? Anyone?
We go to sequence.
We go to sequence. All right, I've got some stuff in there. Let's get rid of that. So what do I need to do? I need to just put in what's there. 1.0125. 1.0125 times what? Times
AN.
AN. And then my payment, taking away 257.85, 257.85. And then how much we started with? We started with $1,000. My fat head's probably in the way there. And so there we are. So the next thing we need to do, box is checked. Remembered to do that today, that's good. Click on this icon and there we are, there's the sequence. So in terms of course, the calculator's just going to keep calculating that for however long we want it to, but we need to interpret what's here in relation to our question. So the question asks about how much she owes after each payment. So after the first payment, she owes $754.65. After the second payment, or the second month, $506.23. The third month, $254.71, and the fourth month, $04.49. All right. So after month number 1. She's got $7,465. Don't forget also put in your dollar signs. All right, because we're talking about dollars and cents here, so you need to put your dollar signs in. The second month was $506.23. The third month, she owes $254.71, and after the fourth month, she owes $0.0449. Now, something I need to point out, because this is money, dollars and cents, how many decimal places do we give it to? 2. Alright, so it might not say in the question, but because it's dollars and cents, automatically, because it's dollars and cents, it's automatically assumed that you will give your answer to 2 decimal places. So in this case, 04, so she owes 4 cents at the end of the fourth payment. So that's where I said before that question C now will make a little bit more sense. Different spelling sense. Same sounding sense, but different spelling sense. Because according to this, she still owes 4 cents. So what does that mean about her last payment? If she wants to have it paid off after those 4 payments, what would she need to make her last payment? 4 cents more than what it was. All right, so when she goes from the third month to the fourth month, she's paying off $257.85, but that still leaves her with 4 cents to pay. Pretty silly to leave 4 cents sitting around for another month. So her last payment then would need to be $257.85 plus the 4 cents. So if she pays $257.89 in that last month, she then won't owe anything. All right, and that's pretty common practice on the last payments of loans. It's adjusted one way or another. So in this case, because it was positive 4 cents, she would need to pay. Sometimes you would get a negative here. So if it was a negative here, you would reduce that last payment. And there'll be more questions along those lines as we move through the rest of this topic. All right, anything that anyone needs clarifying there with that? All right, that's it. Exercise 9B, questions 1 to 5. Like and subscribe.